What's going on, my friends? My name is M2Games and welcome back to another episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 3DS. We're off up last time. We got through the Forest Temple, and now in this part we are here in Hyrule Field, and we're going to be doing one major side quest, so we're going to go ahead and start that. You can actually start this like right away, but or at least right after doing the Forest Temple. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna be, and before I go ahead of myself, I'm gonna go ahead and go through here first, just so I can go ahead and ooh, that's a that's a lot of rupees right there. Yeah, there's significantly less pots in here, so it's not really much of a rupee grind area anymore. And then we have this person. You are quite an energetic young man. You're brave and handsome too. Your name is someone, isn't it? Don't be surprised, I can read people's minds. Oh, so you're psychic, I see. If I look as good as you, I could run a different kind of business. Okay, my shop is the only ghost shop in Hyrule. A ghost shop, that's kind of odd. Because of the great Ganondorf, it is a fine time for a business like this. Okay, so you serve under Ganondorf. I can only hope the world gets even worse. Alright. The ghosts called Poes are spirits of concentrated hatred that appear in the fields and graveyard. They hate the world. Young man, if you catch a Poe, I will pay a lot of money for it. Really? Okay. Yeah, so this person has a lot of Poes, as you can see right there. They escaped their cage right there. A little scary. You may have probably went around Hyrule Field. And noticed these a little earlier, but now we're gonna go ahead and take care of these right now. First things first is you want to get rid of all your bottles, which will include the Lon milk and my fairy, unfortunately, but this is just what we have to do. And then we are going to go ahead and get out Epona here. Coming up is going to be a lot of editing for the next, I don't even know, like 10 minutes or something like that. So I am going to post-commentate this section, so be right back. Alright, so the way this goes, or at least this, the way it works, is that whenever you walk by certain spots of the overworld, you will encounter one of these creatures. These are known as big Poes. They are much different than regular Poes. And so, you may have encountered them as you were going through Hyrule Field, when we were going through Hyrule Field the first time as an adult. However, you had the only way to defeat them is by using the bow. So now that we have the bow, we can do this. So, as you can see, I'm doing these cuts here. That way I can cut up, that way I can save a lot of travel time here in the video. And if you have 3 bottles, then that means that every time you defeat 3 Poes, you have to go back and turn these Poes in to the Ghost Shop merchant over in the markets. So it's a little bit tedious, and this is why we have editing here, so that we can cut off all that trip here. So, this is my 3rd Poe. Now, I'm going to show myself turning in these Poes on my last visit, just so it's a little bit more convenient that way. Now, if you want to know where I'm at in order to find these Poes, just pay attention to the bottom left corner of the screen. So that way you know how exactly I'm triggering these Poes and where I'm at. These spots aren't very precise, but sometimes if you approach these Poe spots at a very wrong angle, then the Poes will be at a very awkward position for you to get them. Like sometimes, like the one that I got previously that's right by Kakariko Village, you're actually supposed to get it from the bottom of of that cliff area that I got it from. But the way I did it was a lot easier. Because there's a very good chance that a Poe will appear inside the wall, and which would mean the Poe will disappear. Now, if a Poe disappears, that's not a big deal because you don't have to reload the area. All you have to do is just go far enough away from the spot, and then they'll reappear again. Also, since you're going to be using up a lot of arrows, you want to make sure you have a lot of arrows. And so a good way to get arrows is by either going to Kakariko Village, because there's a shop in the village that sells arrows. Or you can farm off arrows from these bushes that you see scattered throughout the overworld. So that's another way to get rupees right there. Or to get arrows. Yeah, as you can see, some of these spots, the Poes are really hard to get. And it is a huge pain sometimes. That one right there is very painful because it is over the water. So thankfully that one wasn't too bad. Well, actually that one was bad when I was getting that one. I actually had that one took me like 5 tries when I get that Poe. And then now we're actually going to get our last 3 Poes. These next 2 ones are actually like near each other. So one of them is by crossing that set of bushes. And then coming up near this area there is a rock, and you want to pass by that rock in order to get this next Poe. So you get 2 Poes as a nice little bonus, I guess. No, it's not even a bonus. It's just it just happens to be 2 Poes in this area. This one took me a long time for me to trigger because the trigger for this particular Poe is really weird. Alright, so go ahead and grab this Poe, and then now we're gonna go for the last one. This one is kind of a pain. This last one is kind of a pain, but we'll see how this one goes. So you want to go ahead and pass by this tree right here that's in between Gerudo Valley and Lake Hylia, and then you want to make sure this Poe does not go over the hill, otherwise it becomes a huge pain in order to get. And then there we go, so that's all 10 Poes. And now that we have all 10 Poes, we just gotta go ahead and go back to the Ghost Shop Merchant and turn in the rest of our Poes and get a very nice reward. So I'll see you guys at the shop. Okay, now that we have went through all 10 Poes, I'm actually surprised I even remembered where all 10 of them are in the first place, but now that we have defeated all 10 Poes, let's go ahead and trade in all of these Poes to this guy. And it's you want to have a Giant's Wallet, or at least you want to make sure you have the Giant's Wallet, because you are going to get a lot of rupees out of this. Otherwise, if you're just doing this without the Giant's Wallet, then it's pretty much like a whole waste of effort. But anyway, wait a minute! You have earned 1,000 rupees! Young man, you are a genuine ghost hunter! Is that what you expected me to say? Because of you, I have extra inventory of big Poes, so this will be the last time I can buy one of these ghosts. You're thinking about what I promised will happen when you earn 1,000 points? Don't worry, I didn't forget. Just take this. Woohoo! Alright, an extra bottle! It was so worth it. But that's it. So in this case, we have every time you pass by a location where a big Poe is located, a regular Poe will appear, but there's no benefit if you give that guy a regular Poe. Alright, next thing of interest is actually... Oh, hold on. I actually forgot something. So let me go ahead and go back there real quick. Okay, never mind. I made myself look like a fool, and that there was actually... I did not actually forget something, and that is, it's more so I cannot actually do what I wanted to do right now. Alright, anyway, we're gonna go back to Kakariko Village, and the first thing of interest is to go back to the House of Skulltula. And that is because we have defeated over 50 gold Skulltulas, and as I said, every 10 gold Skulltulas that you defeat, you get a really nice reward. Now, the last reward that we got wasn't really super special. So let's go ahead and see what we got for the 5th reward. I believe it's this guy right here. Nope, okay. How about this guy? The curse has been broken! And then you get a heart piece as your 50th gold Skulltula reward. Alright, so that is the last Gold Skulltula reward for a while. The next Gold Skulltula reward is when you defeat 100 Gold Skulltulas. That's right, it's not going to be a Gold Skulltula reward for a while, so we're really going to have to work for that 100 Gold Skulltula reward. Alright, next thing of interest is over here now that we have the bow. And the shooting gallery has now been moved over here. Okay, do you want to play a game? It's 20 rupees per play. Alright then, this game is for grown-ups. This one actually makes sense this time. So, the shooting gallery is basically similar to the slingshot game. Except... well, actually, okay, here we go. As you can see, it's random! Oh god, I already messed up. Oh, okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and just... I'm not gonna win this anyway, so we're just gonna go ahead and, try this again. I have a lot of rupees to spare, so... Alright, here we go. I wasn't ready for the 2 reds to be moving like that right off the bat. Wow, I suck. No, come on! Alright, I'm not gonna win, so let's go ahead and do this again! No, come on! Yes! Oh, that should not have been that hard. Like, I actually, in my original playthrough from 5 years ago, I struggled on this really hard, and in this version it's supposed to be easier because of the gyro aim, but okay, I made myself look like a fool. So maybe it's not as easy as I thought it was. Man, here I was going into that feeling very confident, but yeah. But anyway, our reward for that is the quiver upgrade. So now we can carry up to 40 arrows as opposed to 30, which is great. And then now we're going to go ahead and move on to go somewhere else. Now, there's 2 things that we can do. We can go back to the Temple of Time, because something is waiting for us there now that we have went through the Forest Temple. The other of which is to go to Death Mountain, since that's the next location that we're gonna go. However, I'm going to do things a little bit different, and that is to head over to this general location. The reason is the 2 reasons is because it are simple. The first reason being that, well, the reason I'm not going to the Temple of Time is because it's not really that convenient. And then the reason I'm not going to Death Mountain right now is because I just prefer doing things this way. So we're gonna go to Zora's River instead. Now, once you complete the Forest Temple, the world does open up a little bit. Since having the bow is pretty useful, but there's only so many things that you can do right now. So the game almost wants you to do everything in order. You can kind of you can kind of change things up a little bit. Ooh. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Alright, once I just go out right here and grab some bugs. In here, we got A red rupee. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, from here on out, we're not really worried about rupees because at this point we really don't need rupees for very many things anymore. Did I? Oh, I did not make it. Okay. But as an adult, we're actually like big enough so that we actually don't get pushed back by the waterfall current, which is pretty cool. In fact, you may notice that there's no Cucco in here anymore. Alright, I gotta hurry this up because somewhere along the line, it's actually about to be daytime. Okay, I gotta hurry. Where'd it go? Oh my god, it's right there! Dude, it's gonna turn daytime. Alright, cool. Alright, awesome. Alright, so that gold Skulltula is you're actually supposed to get that later. In fact, after you beat the next dungeon. because the dungeon item allows you to get that much easier, but if I can get it now, we're going to get it now. So, minor sequence break, I suppose. Alright, so once again, we're actually going to head back into Zora's domain. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, something kind of interesting is that, this definitely works in the original, but I don't know if it I don't know if it works in this version. Actually, no, it didn't. It does not work in this version because the last episode I did save at Kokiri Forest, but in the original version, I think if you saved in Kokiri Forest as an adult, then you actually spawn at Link's house as an adult. But yeah, I believe they have changed that in this version. We're gonna go ahead and head through this way now and see what we got going on here this time around. Since we haven't been to the back area here as an adult yet. So in Zora's Fountain, oh, well, that's a major change. Lord Jabu Jabu's not here anymore. Did he die? Oh man, that's a bummer. Well, I mean, I guess fish don't live for 7 years. So in a way that kind of makes sense, but that's also very unfortunate. That means it's another dungeon that we can't visit as an adult. Because, and actually, I did not point this out, but the Great Deku Tree, you cannot visit the Great Deku Tree as an adult either. For some reason, his mouth is closed as an adult. And, you know, isn't he dead? So how would he have closed his mouth if he's dead? So that's something that doesn't make sense to me. I actually forgot to point that out in the last episode. Yeah, somehow the Great Deku Tree's mouth is open. Maybe he's somehow alive in secret and he's just keeping himself quiet. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and head over here because this is gonna be our next location. You have to do this first. Otherwise, you're going to run into some problems later. So anyway, here we are in not the next dungeon, but we're gonna have to come over here. It is known as the Ice Cavern. So that is going to be it for this episode of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. And next time, we're going to be exploring the Ice Cavern. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.